Sergeant of Arms. I was telling Robin earlier, this brings back a lot of memories. It's good to see that nothing has changed.
We still buy Robin?
He still doesn't pay.
Nothing has changed. So it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon to speak a little bit on the Royal Beach Club at Partisanen. I'm going to try to speed through this just a little bit in case there are questions at the very end. And again, it's certainly a pleasure to see all of the faces that I am familiar with. A very long time ago, when I was at the Chamber of Commerce, and Barry kind of recruited me into this club. And I see today a lot of the same faces, and so thank you very much for the influence that you've also had in my life. And if you thought that I've done a good job, then you should feel proud. If you don't think I've done a good job, then it's your fault. Local here, the office is right downtown at Margaritaville, led by Jessica Ferguson to the right there. Our manager, joined by Adina Taylor, Paul Moxie, Nassan Bain, Ebony Thompson. They're recruiting today. I think they're out of function, so they're unable to join us. So here we are, many years later. I'm pretty sure some of you know this story better than I do. I joined the company in July of 2023, but this has been an ongoing process for probably almost 10 years. It is a 17-acre development. 14 of those acres have been privately acquired. 13 of those acres privately acquired, and 4 of those acres represent government land. So it's really designed to be simply the ultimate pool and beach club day experience. It's a day excursion. It will operate during the hours when the cruise ships are on port. Of course, it's open and accessible to Bahamians. And so between the hours of 8 and 4, 9 and 5 will be the operation hours of the Royal Beach Club. We have 2 beaches there, on the east side and on the west side, and we have 3 pools. That's essentially it. We have committed to build a development that really speaks to the essence of who we are. There'll be 6 restrooms, there'll be 3 quick service restaurants, and then we'll have kiosks. But essentially, the goal of this project is to fuse as much of Bahamian culture, and whether that's taste, touch, feel, everywhere you turn, we have taken deliberate care to infuse as much of our culture into what we do at the Royal Beach Club. With the image you see on the screen there is going to be one of our signature locations. It's called the Floating Flamingo. It'll be the largest swim-up bar in the world, and you can see it takes its accents, obviously, from our colorful Junkanoo culture. But again, the aim is the ultimate pool and beach club experience. Let me take a step back to really describe to you, because I think at times we take it for granted that everybody kind of knows how we got here, and everybody knows what this structure is about. When I say a partnership, it's a literal partnership between Royal Caribbean, the government of the Bahamas, and the people of the Bahamas. The government of Bahamas has its shareholding through the Crown Land Lease. Royal Caribbean has 51% ownership, and the delta between the government and the company will be offered in a public share offering later in the year. We're currently completed that draft shareholders agreement, and we're waiting on a response from the Attorney General feedback so we can move that forward. So that's the partnership. In addition to that, the company's also agreed that the service operations, and whether that's food and beverage, medical, landscaping, pool, maintenance, pest control, not legal. The list goes on and on in terms of the opportunities for companies to participate and have contracts. It's a very unique model, very different. It's not like Coco Key, it's not like standard operations in terms of the company, but it's a commitment that we made because we want to have as many Bahamian companies as possible participating, and in addition to that, we want to have 100% Bahamian management, which obviously we can do running and operating the beach club. In addition to that, 1% of the gross revenue goes into a fund. We're working on that. We're going to negotiate that with government. We certainly don't want it to go into the Christmas holidays. But 1% of the revenue will go into a fund to improve the attractions and tours into Nassau, and we'll set up a board to really, and that could be significant. So it's 1% of the gross. What am I missing? Yeah, I think that's it. But yes, so yeah, so we have about 50%. And Jillian, if you can kind of just go back to the beginning where the video is, and I can kind of run through where we are with the construction. I don't know where he lives. But I know he was there yesterday or the day before. He's always pretty near. So we obviously pouring the pools. I want to speak to this just a little bit. We have 6 environmental principles. We have a website, it's royalbeachclub@paradiseisland.com. It speaks very, very clearly to not just the journey, but the intent, the goals, the objectives. And those 6 environmental principles really will allow us to present a product much, much better than what we make. And for those of you who are familiar with the locations, we acquired about 6 or 7, I believe. I could be incorrect in terms of the number of private properties that were there. I got into the stage and others, they were abandoned. The homes were derelict. The docks were falling into the ocean, into the harbor as well. And so not quite what you would have thought in terms of the claims relative to the pristine environment, et cetera. And we have obviously tons and tons of pictures we would have done in partnership, obviously, with the DEPP. We've gone through various different processes. We've done tons of reports. They're listed on our website. Currently going through a coral. We've completed a coral study. So there is quite a bit that we would have done relative to the environment in terms of the tree relocation. We have also engaged companies like JSS and SEV. JSS would have done the tree relocation process for us. They would have tagged, obviously, thousands of trees in preparation for this. I think we have a little over, 2,000 or so trees that we relocated to Nassau that are going to go back to Paradise Island, along with several thousand more, obviously, by the time we open. And that was a really arduous process, but we thought it was very, very necessary. We had over, I think, 60% plus of the vegetation over there was deemed to be invasive, and for a lot of different reasons had to be removed. And so, this is a part of the tree process that we went through with JSS. We have the senior management in place. We're now moving on to the managers and the supervisors. We are going through the last stages of several of the RFPs. Again, food and beverage and medical and maintenance and service operations will be carried out by Bahamian companies. We had also if you go to, and all of these will obviously be Bahamian opportunities. So we have a recruitment team that are here today, but we are actively trying to source as many qualified Bahamians as possible to fill these roles. And based on what we've gotten so far, it's going to be an amazing team that we're putting together. Let me speak a little bit to the first one, the Artist Discovery Program. Again, I said that you're going to be turning. Everywhere you turn, you should see some element of Bahamian culture in what we do. The Artist Discovery Program, whether it's paintings, murals, sculptures, we have had several dozens of submissions to us with the most beautiful work done by local artists and artisans. The entertainment program is just spectacular. I was kind of even surprised myself by some of the creative, proposals that were submitted to us. We should be concluding those selections hopefully by the end of next month. And I can't wait to make those announcements to you. These again are some of the other contracts that we've been exploring. Those of you who know, there's a bunker there. We worked with the A and the C. Obviously, we have to preserve it and keep it. We will program a little bit of that area into the beach club offering, but again, that's a very special area for us. Okay.